All right, everybody, here's a Valentine's tutorial for birds and the bees. This is going to be a straight ahead, pretty easy version of this. If you look at the song sheet, all the chords that have parentheses around them, all that means is you're going to strum it once. And then you don't start strumming again till you get to the next chord. So just keep that in mind, but it is a pretty straightforward, easy song. Before you start it, because it actually starts on the word birds with a G, but you need to know what key you're singing in. So I always say just do that real quick, and that way you're ready. You don't really need to count this off or anything unless you're playing with others, because your pace is going to be however you start the song singing the words. Let me tell you about the birds and the bees. So that's your choice. It is pretty much a laid back song, so no reason to rush it or anything. But even if you sped it up, this is going to be a fun song. So let's start with the G. I'm going to count it off because we're playing together. But usually when I play it at a nursing home or wherever, I just find the key and start playing. 1, 2, 3. Let me tell you about the birds and the bees and the flowers and the trees and the moon up above and the thing called love. Let me tell you about the stars in the sky and a girl and a guy and the way they could kiss on a night like this. When I look into your big brown eyes, it's so very plain to see. Time to learn about the facts of life, starting from A to Z. Let me tell you about the birds and the bees and the flowers and the trees and the moon up above and the thing called love. When I look into your big brown eyes, it's so very plain to see. Time to learn about the facts of life, starting from A to Z. Let me tell you about the birds and the bees and the flowers and the trees and the moon up above and the thing called love. And the thing called love. And the thing called love. All right, for those of you who were looking at my hands, let me show you what I was doing. I did a couple of variations of the D chord, the D7 chord, and the G chord. So let me just show you what I'm doing. You're not required to do any of it. You do it the way you want, whatever helps you stay in time. But these are some options for you if you want to learn some bar chords and stuff. And I left this to the end because I didn't want people to start focusing on that. Play the song first, learn the song, then try to do something fancy with it. All right, so usually we play a G like that, right? Now there's an alternate G shape, which is still the same notes, but we're doubling different notes. When you're playing it this way, you're doubling the G, and the E string is the same note, right? A G note. But when you play it like this, you're doubling both the G string and the A string, right? So that would be a B note, right? Do you need to know any of that? No, but it's just a different configuration of the G major chord, all right? So you can play it like that or like that, either one. Oops, sorry. So they sound identical as long as you play it correctly. All right, so if I know that I'm going to be doing a D chord, I usually do a pinky D is what I call it. I leave a pointer finger across the first fret, and then I add my pinky to the 5th fret of the A string. So a a G like that, and then a D like that. Do you have to do it like that? You don't. All right? And then a D7 when we get to that during the chorus, I guess. Maybe that's the bridge. We go from a D to a D7. Now that allows the other 3 strings to keep ringing out if we want them to. Now for this particular song, starting from A to Z, what you're going to do to mute all the strings is just release your finger just enough, your pointer finger, to where it's still sitting on the fret, but it's not pressing down on the fret. It mutes it all. Starting from A to Z. Now you can let it ring out if you want. Starting from A to Z. Whatever you want, whatever works for you. The main thing is we're stopping strumming there. So, but that's really it. The G, the D, and the D7. Now, another part of this song that's a little bit confusing, because I tried to cram all this onto one page. If you look at the very end, right, the second to last line says repeat from bridge, which you go back to the red section, come back. But if you look at the third line of the last verse, underneath that G7, it says only first time through. So when you come back down after repeating the bridge in the third verse, you do not play that G7. All right? So that's when you're going to go, you're going to hold on to that G. Thing called love. And the thing called love. You go down to the bottom and you're going to hold that D. And the thing called love. And the thing called love. One more time. And the thing called love. D, G, real quick, to end it up. And that's why I purposely put those 2 chords just past the ×3. So that way you do, and the thing called love 3 times, and then do a quick D, G, or D, G. Whatever works for you, works for me. Hope you enjoyed that one. If you have any questions, let me know. Great job.